Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Beginner's Guide. In today's episode, we're going to look at making the 4 main beginner farms at the start of the game. The first one is a wheat farm, and this is mainly used to breed cows. Wheat can also be used to make bread, but it's very situational. It's not really what we're doing it for at the start here. If you're out exploring and you find a village and there's got loads of hay bales, you can break those down into wheat and you make bread for those if you don't have another wheat source. But otherwise, bread is pretty bad. So we use the wheat farm to breed cows. Cows are a much better food source. Some might say one of the best. The second farm is a cow farm. As I just mentioned, we're going to be using cows as a food source, but we also need leather. Leather is to make books, and that'll come up in a very near future episode. The third one is a tree farm. Lots of wood. Wood is always very nice. You can make a pretty nice house out of wood. Lots of different types of wood, lots of different types of blocks in each type of wood. And the fourth one is a sugarcane farm. Now, sugarcane is used for paper, and paper is actually quite important. Sugarcane is quite important. Paper is used at the start of the game, where we are now, will be used for making books, as I just mentioned, and books are used for enchants, which will be coming up very soon. And the other reason is for rockets, which are much later in the game, but we will get there at some point in this series. So the first thing you need to know about making a wheat farm is that you need a water source nearby. Now, at the moment, we have this river here, so we can use this. What you might want to do later on is get a bucket of water, and then you can have your water source wherever you want. But the water here will hydrate land up to 4 blocks away. So what we're going to do to start with is we're actually going to take out this sand, and we're going to take out this gravel. But what we want to do first is just punch all this grass here to get those seeds. As you can see there, we had this seed. This thing just dropped. And these are what we get wheat from. So to start with, we're just going to do this. And once we've got a nice collection of seeds, I will be back. And we are back. And we've got quite a lot of seeds here, as you can see. You may want to get more of this, more seeds. That's up to you. I'm just going to start with this for the moment. This will be plenty, really. We're not going to have many cows to start with, so we don't need a lot of wheat to start with. But you also get wheat seeds as you grow them into wheat, so they will grow by itself. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a hoe. You need a hoe to till the land. And as I mentioned just now, I'm just going to get rid of this so that we can use the dirt here, because you can't grow it on sand. And I'm going to take the hoe and I'm just going to right click 4 blocks away. And you can see how that's going darker. That's because this is now being hydrated by the water here. And then all you have to do is pop this down. And that's great. That's the start of our wheat farm. As I mentioned before, we just expand this out when we need to, when we get more seeds. This is actually what the sugarcane looks like. I realized in my last episode that I found some just floating in the water. And if you're looking for that kind of thing on the floor, you're never going to find it. It's a very rare thing. This is what it looks like. So when you see this stuff, when you're out and about, grab some. You only need one to start your farm with, but grab whatever you can. These things act differently in that they don't need to be on tilled ground, but they do need to be right next to water. Right, so let me just grab these. So these things will only plant next to water. You cannot do it another block away. Then all we do to make a cane farm is we just do this. And then what happens is once this grows up, once it gets to that level 3 we just saw, as you can see from that over there as well, is we don't break the bottom one, we break the middle one. If we break the bottom one, we have to replant it. If we break the middle one, it'll automatically start to regrow from the bottom one. So that's 2 of our farms done already. That's our wheat started, and that's our sugarcane started. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our axe, and we're going to go over there, and we're going to take down loads of trees, and we are going to take down loads of these leaves. And these leaves will give us saplings to grow more trees, and we will grow them over here. The saplings kind of look like this. So you'll find that when a tree has been cut down and the leaves are decaying, you'll see these things drop. Each tree type has a different looking one, but they always look something like that. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to go over here. We're going to cut down loads of trees. We're going to try and get loads of saplings, and I will be back in a second. The other thing I should note as I'm cutting these down is you should cut down all of the wood right up to the top. Leaves will only decay if there is no wood within 4 blocks. So if you leave some wood up there, these leaves will never decay, and you'll never get your saplings back. So here we can see lots of leaves decaying already, and as you can see, there are loads of saplings on the floor. So just run around, pick them up. Sticks are handy. You need a lot of those as well. They come in useful for torches and things like that. So just grab everything that drops. As you can see, there's loads of saplings already. We're already at 7. I'm just going to grab a few more, and then we'll be sorted. If you want these leaves to decay quicker, you can swap to either a non-tall item. So I'm just going to select my food here, and I'm just going to punch the leaves. If you break the leaves, you can get the saplings out of them now, like so. You do not get any more chance or any less chance by breaking leaves. So if you want it to be quicker, you can punch them yourself. Even quicker than that, you can use a hoe. The breaking leaves will chew through a hoe, so generally, unless you've got one of the higher end ones, it tends to be not recommended. But it's an option. If you want to do that, you can. I'm using a stone hoe, and there's plenty of stone around, so it's really no issue. I just prefer to let it decay on its own because you can run around and you can cut down many more trees while that's doing it. And here we have another wood type. So we have oak and we have birch. There are 6 different types in the game in what we call the overworld, which is where we are at the moment. There are 2 more types in what is called the nether. The nether is more of a hell dimension, and we'll get to that later. There are 6 types here, and they all come with their own saplings, so you can grow whatever type you like, whichever type you prefer, and you actually have some sort of control over which ones you're actually growing. Right, so that's all we need. We've got 20 saplings. That's more than enough. I'm not going to pick up any of the birch saplings unless I got some by accident. I did not. I'm not going to bother with birch just because I don't like it. You can if you want them, if you like that kind of wood, by all means. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here a little bit away from the rest of it. I'm just going to plant them down. So the way I plant my trees is I always plant one down. Doesn't matter where the first one goes. But there will always be 4 blocks between trees. So we have one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, pop. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, pop. And the reason for this is, and again, it's this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, pop. And the reason I do this is because, 1, 2, 3, 4, pop. When the trees grow up, the leaves at the top, so you see the leaves here, they will always go kind of 2 away from the main trunk. So the trunk will grow where the sapling is. These 2 blocks are for the leaves from this tree. These 2 blocks are the leaves on this tree. And because there's no overlapping, trees don't overwrite each other. And it means you kind of have more consistency with your sapling drops. And once you get into the later game, it doesn't really matter about the saplings. You can just plant them as close as you want to. It's not a problem at all. But to start with, you want to be able to sustain your trees. So to do that, you need to be able to get enough saplings to keep replanting. So there we go. That's going to be enough for the moment. We have 9 trees here. So what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to let them all grow up. I'll be back in a little bit for you. It'll be quite a while for me. Right. So here we are. We're back a little while later. All of our seeds here have grown into wheat. Our sugarcane here has all grown again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch out the middle block. This breaks the top and the middle block, but leaves the bottom one there to carry on growing for the next time. And then what I'm going to do, and this is quite a good tip, is if you want to select a block you're looking at, you can look at it and middle click it. You see how it popped up the sugarcane in the bottom there? I'm going to pop that away again. You notice there's nothing in my hand. I middle click it, it selects a sugarcane. So if you're ever building and you want to just quickly swap blocks, you can just middle click and it's much quicker. I'm going to do this because it expands our sugarcane farm, gives us more paper. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to punch these out. And as you can see, we've got loads of wheat and we've got loads more seeds. So we're just going to take the seeds, I'm going to replant them. And we're going to expand this out as well. So I'm going to get my hoe, expand the farmland here. Where is my hoe? To give us more wheat in future. I'm going to replant. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come back over to our tree area. I'm just going to cut them down. I'm going to do the exact same things we did before. We're going to cut down all the trunks. We're going to let the leaves decay. And we're going to replant the saplings in the same spot. Sometimes you may get big trees like this one. They do give you more wood, but they tend to be a bit of a pain to cut down. Still, we do the exact same thing. We cut down, but we may need to use these blocks to give us some extra height to be able to reach the top ones here. What you can do, I mean, this is lucky enough. What you can do is if you look down, again, we can do the pick block, which is the middle click. It gives us the logs there. If you jump in place, you can stack yourself up, and this is known as stacking, to reach the higher wood. If you can't quite reach the wood at the top, just do that and then just cut yourself down again. And there we go. We've cut down loads of trees. We've got the next generation of trees growing. As you can see, there are lots of saplings falling down still, so we can still consistently sustain our tree farm here. We have all the wood we want. Currently, the wood is only oak, but this works for any of the same wood. The only difference being is dark oak, where dark oak, you can only grow it in a 2x2 pattern like so. So for a dark oak, you need 4 saplings per tree, and you grow out, they grow out with 3 leaves. So this will be leaves, this will be leaves, and this will be leaves, rather than 1 sapling and 2. So what we do now, and this is quite a good tip actually, if you have any more cobblestone, I'm just going to mine myself 8 pieces. Take 8 pieces, you go into the crafting table and you can make yourself a furnace. Now a furnace can be used to cook items, funny enough, which includes the meat we got from the animals earlier on, and cooked food will always give you more hunger back than uncooked food. And you can use wood to fuel it. So I'm just going to pop this here. Food in the top, this is what we want to cook. Fuel in the bottom, and you can see the flames here. So these are cooking. These will drop down once that goes down, and it will give us cooked food in the output. So there's the first one. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to eat it. And I will be back when this is cooked. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that to cook. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to convert all these logs into... so these are the logs. These are the ones you cut down. These are planks, and they're what you turn them into. So I'm just going to convert them all into that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make loads of these fences. And you can see the ingredients you need here. So if you don't have enough items, I mean, you know how to make sticks. I've made them already. We should make loads of fences. As you can see, there wasn't many there. So we should make loads more sticks, loads more fences. But what we do want to do is leave one for a gate. And what we're doing here, these fences, these are for our cow pen, because we want to keep cows and we don't want them to get loose. Make as many fences you want, you know, as big as you want your cow pen to be. That should be enough. And I'm going to come over here. What was our food cooked? Now you may have heard that little ding ding there. Cooking gives you experience as well. What I'm just going to do now is I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to pick a random place. It doesn't particularly matter where. I'm just going to take my fences. I'm just going to make a big area. Like so. It's just a big area with fences all the way around and a gate in whatever side you want to use. Just right click to open and close the gate. These, although they are 1 block tall, you can't actually jump over. They're meant to be 1 block tall. They're actually a bit taller. This means that not only can you not jump over, the cows cannot jump out. So anything that are in there are safe in there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the wheat in our right hand like so. We're going to hold it. We're going to go out and we're going to find some cows. Now all we need to do is get the cow to see us. And you saw there, the cow is coming towards me. The cows are lured by wheat, which is why we needed wheat to start with. And I'm just going to come over here. You can drag as many as you're willing to try dragging. I'm just going to take both of these, and I'm going to try and catch these two as well. I'm just going to walk slowly back. I'm not going to sprint. I'm just going to walk slowly back. Once we're at the pen, we open the door, bring them inside. They can get congested at the door here if too many are trying to get in at the same time. So you can kind of just go out and either push them out the way or switch to another item. When you switch to another item, they lose interest. And as you can see, one came in, one did not. So now we just go around. That's it. So they're all in. We unselect our wheat, so they stop following us. We leave and close the gate. These then are all secure. So what we do now is we also use the wheat to breed them. So you hold them, you right click on two animals you want to breed, and you'll see these love hearts. They'll look at each other, get a little bit of experience, and you see a little baby down there. So we're just going to do that on these two as well. And there we go. So we now have 4 cows, 2 babies, and that's it. We have our wheat farm to be able to feed the cows. We have our sugarcane farm, which we'll come up to later. We have our tree farm to give us all the wood we need. And we have our cow farm, which is going to be our food supply. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to just spend some time breeding cows, and I will be back very shortly. So here we are back, and as you can see, I've been busy breeding these cows. We have a lot of animals in here. So next thing we do is this is a less enjoyable part, a bit brutal. Take our weapon, and we just start killing. Do not kill the babies, because the babies don't give you any loot. Just work your way through some of the adults. You need at least 2 adults to survive. You need at least a breeding pair to keep it going. But otherwise, just kill any extras. I'm going to do that for now because that's plenty. Now from that we got 15 beef. And we just do the same thing we did earlier on. We just come over to our furnace here, stick our beef in, and that's pretty much our food source. That's all the food we're going to need. And that's just how we keep sustaining our food supply. We grow the wheat, we breed the cows, we kill the cows. All I'm going to do to wrap up this video is I'm just going to make myself a little house. I'm just going to use some of the wood we've got there just to build a little hut. It doesn't have to be nice. I'm not a builder. I would say it's advanced. If you're looking to build nice things, I cannot tell you how to do that because I don't know how to do it myself. The only thing I can say is to find lots of people on YouTube. There are lots of people on there that do know how to build. And it all comes down to personal preference. You and I will like different types of blocks. So I might like this type of oak wood. You might not like oak wood. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take, I'm going to middle click this so I can select it. I'm going to stack up, and I'm just going to use this extra height to cut down the rest of this wood. These leaves decay. But yes, you might like a different block type as to anybody else. So you might find that you don't like this wood, and that's fine. But it basically means that you can't really teach someone how to build because everybody's different. When you want to breed cows, you can pretty much just, if you hold the wheat in your hand, you can just kind of scrape along, just clicking. The only thing you have to be careful of when you do this is not to click the door, otherwise they'll come spilling out. It's a pain to get them all back in. Something you can do is just kind of go in yourself, and when you're in the crowd, you just move around and click. And here we have my horrible little wooden box. It'll do. Not great, it's not pretty, but it'll do. The only other big hint I really got for you for this episode is if you hold a stack of items and you hold down the left click, you will see the stack will evenly separate around the full stack. If you double click, you can pick up the whole thing. If you click down the right click and you hold it down, it puts 1 item in each slot. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to left click and hold this entire stack. This puts 8 of these in each item slot and gives us, so this will give us 8 chests. Chests are obviously great for storage. All you have to do, put them down next to each other. Now, if you get this where it doesn't, it's not facing the right way, all you have to do is just break it, place it again. It will auto connect by itself. If you want to place something on top of a chest, so if I right click it now, I can't place this chest I'm holding because it opens that chest. You hold shift, as you can see I'm crouching. It means I can place an item down rather than interacting with it. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break these again because, you know, symmetry and patterns and stuff. And that's pretty much the start of our storage system. So I'm just going to dump in all the stuff we don't need. Save us some room. And I'm going to take out our food. But yes, that is the end of our second episode here. I've just noticed I don't actually have a roof on this. I don't actually put roofs on my starter bases, and I don't know why. Maybe because I don't stay in them long enough for it to actually need a roof. Normally I have a starter base and then I move out into a main base. But anyway, as I say, this is the end of this episode. Thanks for watching, and I will be back soon where we go for a bit of an adventure. And we go looking for ores. We get some iron gear, iron equipment. We get some diamonds. We love diamonds. So hopefully I will see you in the next episode. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.